So before we will talk about how to get really quick, the fastest method to get your splits, please take your time, if you may, to support me by hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you care, would help me a whole lot. Any help is appreciated. So let's start. How long would you think it takes to learn the full split, like all the way, like so, all the way left and right? And if you ask people, you'll get any answer ranging from a couple months to years. And I'm asked that question quite a lot. So how long will it take? And I like to answer that question by pointing out that most people fail to learn the split quickly because of two major mistakes. First, they do not stretch consistently. Watch my video about the biggest mistakes in stretching and you will understand. They do not stretch consistently enough and they have limiting thoughts. So what's limiting your flexibility is most likely, if you're healthy, not that your muscles are too short, your tendons are too short, or your ligaments are too short. Flexibility is learned, like strength. Flexibility mostly is a neural activity. So you have receptors in your muscles that tell you how far you can go. So to answer the question, how long does it take? It took me 1 day. I'm not joking. 1 single day. Well, not even 24 hours. About 12 maybe. And it happened like this. I started training fairly early, when I was a little kid. And at one point, I don't know how old I was exactly, 10 or 12, I always was able to do the splits and concentrated on a couple other things. And when I tried to do the split one day, I realized that I couldn't do it anymore. And a lot was missing, about 1 foot, 30 centimeters. And I wasn't very tall. I'm not very tall right now, but I was even shorter back then. And so it was like, wow, that's really bad. So that's not supposed to happen. So I was like, yeah. So now, today, I will do the split. And nobody ever told me that it's supposed to go on forever, that you're supposed to take weeks, months, even years. So I was just like, yeah, okay, let's start. I mean, how long can it take? So I started stretching. And I went into the split as much as I could. And, well, it took quite a while. So the method I used then to finish up the story was that I went into the split as much as I could. And I stayed there. And I started figuring out how I could go lower. So, not as easy as it seems, right? So I tried to go harder, and at one point it became unbearable. I couldn't go any harder anymore. So I was like, yeah, what can I do? And I started to, figuring out. So that developed some of the methods that I still use today. One of them is bouncing. So if I can bounce to a certain point, if I can bounce a little lower, that surely means I could also stay at that very position. Obvious, right? And the second was that try to send releasing signals to the muscles. So I was like tensing up, moving myself up with my legs, and then letting go. Because that consciously letting go sends relaxation signals. And the third method is what I called playing the guitar. So I massage my muscles, and when I massaged my muscles that were heavily stretched and very tense, I figured out that not the whole muscle is at the same tension, but some fibers, some parts of the muscles are more tense than others, like a string of a guitar. And I started massaging that string in particular. There's a very good method, like so. You can use it for a whole lot of other things. Works like a charm. Try it out. But it works on those muscles as well. and it helps relaxing, it's very enjoyable, and suddenly that string released. Wow! And after a while, even before I figured out all that other mumbo jumbo about it, I had a very enlightening experience when stretching, because most people when they stretch, they're like, yeah, I stretch, that's how far I can go, let's go, whew, that's my stretching for today. And tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, next week probably, they'll do the same. And then they'll wonder why they never go any further. But when you stretch for a little longer, 1, 2, 3 minutes in the same position at a pretty high tension, suddenly you will feel that, that's my limit, and then suddenly you just drop a couple millimeters, couple centimeters, couple inches even, and man, as soon as I realized that's happening, I was like, okay, that's the way to go. So I went with it, just concentrated on it, and well, when it was time for bed time, I wasn't ready yet. So what I actually did as a kid, is I went to my bed and I put a couple pillows under my butt and I tried to sleep like so. And whenever I felt that it's starting to become a little relaxed, I pulled out one pillow after the next one. And strangely enough, this one is still by far my best stretch. Probably because of that experience. Next day, I could barely walk. So I walked like did very different thing with my butt than just putting pillows under it. But it was totally worth it. I never in my life lost again the ability to do the split. And whenever I try to increase my range of motion at a certain movement, not a certain stretch, it's a movement, I apply this very method and the knowledge I gained on that fateful day, that I need to increase my range of motion in every stretch during the stretch, and that I just need to do it for a little longer, for a little higher intensity than I would like, that I need to play the guitar, to keep moving, that I need to bounce, and that I just need to relax and set the movement for whatever I need to do. And that's how I gained the split in one day, and how you can gain it too. Maybe it's gonna take a little longer, but every day that you stretch, you can gain an increase in your range of motion in the split. And even if you don't go crazy like me, within a few weeks, maximum 1 month, you can do the whole split. Guarantee, if you just stick with it. Try it out, give me some feedback, push the like button, blah blah blah. And thanks for watching.